Personality of Godhead, as individual, as a person, as different yet similar in quality but different in quantity with all the living entities. And thus they know how to discriminate between one devotee and another according to his situation by quality. So they look at each devotee according to his quality. So they can see, especially those who are in superior position. Those who are in inferior position, they cannot see. But those who are in superior position, they can see the quality which is being manifest by those inferior, not inferior, but those who have not yet quite developed their qualities of devotional service. Those who are just beginning devotional service, for example, they may not have conquered over the mundane qualities. They may still be seeing differentiations on the bodily platform. This is simply because they are in the mode of ignorance. Their knowledge is not developed. Ignorance means a lack of knowledge. So devotees who see a difference in living beings on the basis of bodily distinction, they have not developed their knowledge, and therefore they are still covered by ignorance. But simultaneously, they may be devotees, although within the mode of ignorance. They may not be very advanced devotees, but they are still devotees. What is a devotee? A devotee is somebody who has taken Vishnu, Krishna, to be the ultimate goal of his life, and is very much attached to serving Krishna. He wants to surrender fully. He wants to take up a process of purification. And he chants the Hare Krishna mantra. Therefore he is the best amongst the common men. If there is a group of men, and one of them is chanting Krishna Krishna, this is Lord Chaitanya's definition, then you know he is the best amongst that group of men. Despite all material qualities. Maybe he is not the most learned. Maybe he is not the most highest quality character. But because he's chanting Krishna Krishna, he is the topmost amongst men. An example, very nice example. Once Lord Chaitanya was traveling in South India, and he went to some place where there was some men gathered. And there was one man, he was reading Bhagavad Gita upside down, and just turning the pages. And actually he would often look at the cover and cry. Just crying, just looking at the cover. There was some picture there. So, the book was upside down. Everybody could see the book was upside down. It didn't take much intelligence to know he had the book upside down. And all of the others there, they had some learning, so they started laughing at him. They made jokes at him. They said, look at this fool. He doesn't even know right side up from upside down, but he's going through this Bhagavad Gita and crying. He must be a fool. So they laughed at him. So Lord Chaitanya, of course being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya knew everything. So he came to this man, said, why are you crying? And the man said, actually, my spiritual master, he told me I must read Bhagavad Gita every day, from beginning to end. But I can't read. But I just had faith that I have to follow the instruction of my spiritual master, regardless of my condition. So I am going through it every day, page by page, and just looking at it. But I cannot read. But then I look at the cover, and I see the picture of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, acting as the chariot driver of Arjuna, his devotee. And that is so wonderful for me that I just start crying and I cannot stop. How the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source of the whole creation, he whom is surrounded by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or goddesses of fortune, he who is the possessor of all opulence, has become the lowly chariot driver of his devotee out of love. And this is wonderful. So, Lord Chaitanya said, you are the greatest amongst the devotees. You see, he had no understanding of what he was to do. He knew what to do, but he had no understanding how he was going to do it, how he was going to read this book. He didn't know right side up from upside down, but he just went through it every day. He knew I have to turn the pages somehow or another and just look at it. I have to, even if totally imperfectly, try to follow the instructions of my spiritual master, even if full of fault. Now that man was topmost man, because of his love and devotion manifesting from his heart in spite of all obstacles. This is a very great personality. And you could see by the symptom, Krishna was so pleased with his effort to follow the instruction of spiritual master. He received the mercy, blessing of spiritual master, just because he tried to please him. And thus, Krishna revealed more within his heart the loving exchanges of devotional service, and he became totally overwhelmed by seeing the loving exchange between Krishna and Arjuna. This is because he understood that it is only through the spiritual master that one can serve Krishna. That Krishna cannot be served outside of spiritual master. You cannot avoid spiritual master and go to Krishna. It is just like when you want to see the president of the country, you must go through his secretary. You must somehow please his secretary. You must somehow have some qualification, and the secretary will see it, and then he will say, okay, now you can come see president. So if you want to come in contact with Krishna, you must do it through his representative, spiritual master. And then when you please spiritual master, by serving spiritual master, he will give you Krishna. That is the arrangement of the Supreme Lord himself, as he says in Bhagavad Gita. Now those other devotees, other people, they were also, of course, devotees. They were reading Bhagavad Gita every day with the correct intonation, rhythm. They knew how to properly pronounce the Sanskrit. They could read it fluently. They understood everything that was being said. And they had very high intellectual ability to comprehend what was being said. They were very proud of their learning, very proud of their education, very proud of their position in relationship to this lowly Brahmana. But factually, they were in the mode of ignorance. And this Brahmana, he was in the mode of goodness within his devotional service. These men were in ignorance because they thought that their bodily qualifications were more important than the devotional qualifications. Now why is this? This word here, which is used here, binajik. Binajik refers to one who sees his interest as separate from the interest of the Supreme. Now all living entities' interests are the interests of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we please Krishna, we are pleased. We've often given the example of watering the root of a tree and automatically satisfying all the leaves and branches of that tree. So if one waters the root of the tree and satisfies all the leaves and branches, that is perfection. But if one tries to satisfy the leaves and branches separately by watering them separately, or if the leaves and branches try to take water directly from the rain, they will fail, because you cannot take that way. Trees cannot drink that way. It is stated that trees drink from the legs up, from the roots. They drink up. So when they drink from the root, the whole tree is satisfied. Similarly, when Krishna is pleased, when we serve Krishna, the whole body of living entities becomes automatically satisfied naturally. If we please Krishna, you or I please Krishna with our service, we become automatically pleased because we are part and parcel of Krishna. That is the arrangement of the Supreme. So that means our interests and the interests of Krishna are not different. My pleasing Krishna, my being pleased, it is the same activity. But if I see my interests different from Krishna's, I will try to be pleased in some other way, separate from pleasing Krishna. And therefore the whole material world is mad after sense gratification and enjoyment, very much desiring to enjoy the facilities of this material body, to eat, sleep, drink, think, act, talk, walk, have sex, enjoy. But these interests, they have no connection with Krishna unless it is performed in devotional service. So if one sees his interest as separate from Krishna's interest, he's a separatist. That is the meaning of Binadrik, that kind of separate vision. And therefore one who is proud of his personality, who's envious of others, he's proud of his birth, he's proud of his body, he's proud of his ability, envious of others who might have a greater ability or a greater intelligence. Or he's vengeful. If somebody does something badly to him, he will very eagerly decide or desire to do something badly to the other person. Or if he's angry, if he acts angrily towards others out of frustration, this person is performing devotional service in the mode of ignorance. That does not mean the devotional service he is performing is in the mode of ignorance. It means he who is performing it is performing it in the mode of ignorance. Of course, all devotional service is pure. Whatever service we perform to the Lord, that service itself is pure, and it will purify us. But if the person who is doing that service, performing that service, is impure, and if he is contaminated by such qualities, then he's known to be in the mode of ignorance. Of course, this mode of ignorance is there in the whole society, and if somebody takes devotional service to heart, he may, of course, come into this position. He may come into the position of performing devotional service contaminated by ignorance. But he won't remain there for long. And therefore, the superior Vaishnavas see, he's temporarily in this position, out of ignorance. Let us try to help him by giving him some mercy in the form of good instruction, good association, and we tolerate him. But we don't have to associate with him. You see? Just like when you are a teacher. You may have students who are not very useful. You will give them help and guidance, but you will not spend your after-teaching hours playing with them in the courtyard. Because there is no connection by position. There is no platform on which to meet as associates. Their quality is not developed to the point where they may meet as associates. You may see with respect, all right, this person is trying to become a devotee of the Lord. He has taken the proper path and proper process. Therefore, yes, we respect him and try to help him with every means available. But associate with him, try to be friendly and act towards him in a friendship capacity, this we do not do, because his bad qualities may tend to contaminate us. Therefore, he should be avoided. Although we may act to help that person, we tolerate that person's actions and activities, but we want to help him by our association, giving him our association. But generally, unless it is on the platform of instruction, we should avoid such personalities, tolerating them and respecting them within the mind, but avoiding them because their qualities of vengefulness, enviousness, anger, or pride, these are material qualities. They may contaminate us. They may drag us or implicate us within their web of ignorance. Therefore, we should avoid these persons. Such persons, although filled with bad qualities, they often think they are the best devotee. It is really amazing how everybody in this world thinks they are the greatest. This is one of the contaminations of the material world. Everybody thinks he is the greatest personality. No matter what fool he is, everybody thinks he's great. Because actually we are great. Because we are part and parcel of Krishna. And Krishna is great. Therefore we have some slight degree of greatness. But very insignificant. And not any greater than anyone else. By natural quality. But somebody may be greater than another due to his possessing superior quality which he has developed due to surrender to the Supreme Lord. But even somebody who's got no good quality, he will think he's very great. And when he becomes a devotee, he will immediately think, although he's fool number one, I am the greatest devotee. I am the most intelligent devotee. Because he'll be very proud of himself. He'll think, I have the most developed personality. I have the most developed knowledge and culture. I have, of course, many great qualifications from birth. But Krishna is stating here, Kapila Muni is stating here, that somebody who thinks like that is actually a materialist. Because he's thinking like that, that position of thinking, that quality, is actually separated vision from the Supreme. He's seeing himself in a superior view. Therefore, he should be avoided. There are many people, even in devotional service, like that, because we all come from the most contaminated positions in the material world. Everybody comes from contaminated positions. Everybody. Nobody is born into this world a pure devotee. Everyone, regardless of birth, caste, creed, whatever, is born into miserable conditions. And then gradually, by good association with the Vaishnavas, they may become purified from that contamination. And if they take devotional service seriously, they will become freed from these contaminations. That is guaranteed. Krishna guarantees it. Anybody who takes to this process of devotional service will go back to Godhead without a doubt, regardless of his position, even if he's the lowest position. Even dog eaters, if they give up that activity and take the devotional service, they can come to the topmost platform. Even within one lifetime. You don't have to. Sometimes there was some foolish thinking among some caste Brahmins in India. They thought that if you want to become a devotee and you are a Sudra or in a lower position materially, you have to first die and take your birth in a higher position, and then you can become, when you become a Brahmin, then you can become a devotee. You can become a pure devotee and go back to Godhead. Of course, this is stated nowhere in the Vedic literature. In fact, it is stated just the opposite. Everywhere. Aho bato sapachoto garyan yaj jivagare vatate namatubhyam. Even Krishna himself say, Ye pitanti param gatim tato vaishas shudras shtiyas. Doesn't matter what your position. Even you're a dog eater. You can go from that point. Being dog eater is the lowest platform. Eating dogs is the lowest eating of food. Even you are dog eaters. You go to the highest platform by your acceptance of devotional service of the Lord. It doesn't matter anymore. As soon as you surrender to Krishna, all of that is finished. And no longer do we even consider these points of view. Never. Not even for a moment. To even think of it is an offense against such pure Vaishnavas. One can only see his loving quality of devotional service in relationship to the Supreme Personality. That is all, nothing more. But if a man is envious, proud, violent, angry, etc., immediately you remember his birth. Immediately you remember his birth, his status, and you see he's contaminated. All right, let's tolerate him, because at least he's on the right path. Just like a man who's dirty, if he's in the shower, you cannot criticize him for being dirty. He's in the bath. He's taking the bath. Of course, there's still some dirt. He's not finished with the bath. What fool will stand outside the shower and go, he's dirty? It's a foolish thing. And he's taking the bath. Okay, he's still dirty. All right, he still smells. All right. But we know within a short time he'll be clean. We don't mind. We don't mind. We have a whole house full of people taking shower constantly. We don't mind. Process is going on. That is the perfection. Let the process go on. More and more. We tolerate everything. Because people have to come to this platform of purification gradually. And they will. More and more. Simply by taking the devotional service and remaining engaged at the lotus feet of their spiritual master. One who serves spiritual master with the desire to gain position, to gain wealth, to gain material sense gratification, he's also in this mode of ignorance. If you try to serve Krishna, spiritual master, that way, that is mode of ignorance. But one who simply does what he's told by spiritual master, that person is mode of goodness. Of course, those who are not yet quite familiar with the position or with the quality of spiritual master, if you tell them, you just do whatever you're told by spiritual master, they will immediately think, uh-oh. Wait a minute, what am I getting myself into? What if he tells me to do this or that? I don't know if I can do that. The media will say, oh, you surrender to spiritual master? Oh yes. He will tell you, now you take some Kool-Aid with poison in it. So you better not accept anybody's authority. Of course, when you go to the school, when you read the newspaper, when you go downtown and you see the advertisements and you go, the whole complex of society is forcing you to drink poison. And you drink it willingly. Just like that song by Mangalananda. My teachers gave me poison and I drank it like a fool. They sent me off to school. Who knows the words of that exactly? When I was young, you don't know? Sent me off to school. My teachers gave me poison and I drank it like a fool. It's a fact. So spiritual master, he's not like your teacher in school. He's not like the one who is teaching you to enjoy various kinds of sense gratification. No, he's simply very gradually taking you step by step through your material contaminations, giving you the proper ways to act to become purified and satisfied. He will never ask you to do something you cannot do. Spiritual master is very clever. He's been given a very clever ability by Krishna. He's been given unlimited intelligence by the Supreme to engage his disciples. He knows exactly what to do for each and every one of them and how to do it. And he gradually brings them step by step by step closer to Krishna. He will never ask anybody to do anything they cannot do. Whatever order you have been given by spiritual master, you can do, because he knows how much you can do and how much you cannot do. And if you accept that and you go step by step, you will make incredible advancement. Even though you thought you had no ability to follow the instruction. If you just tried, all success is manifested. Just like that Brahmin. If he had thought, I cannot read, spiritual master has made a mistake asking me to read this book, therefore I will not do it, he would have gotten nowheres. But because he said, spiritual master cannot give me service I cannot perform, he just every day turned the pages. He succeeded in developing love of Godhead. That is the point, isn't it? The point was not that he should succeed in learning how to read the book. The purpose of spiritual master was not to send the illiterate to school. The purpose was to engage him in devotional service and just see the result. Just see the result. Therefore we say, whatever your duty has been given by spiritual master, even if you do it imperfectly, don't mind. Just keep on going. Just keep performing. And you will gain the perfection of life. Because he will be blessed. He will bless you. Because he sees how nicely you are performing this devotional service. In spite of all obstacles. In spite of all inabilities. Spiritual master becomes very endeared to a devotee who, in spite of all obstacles, continues his service. For one who finds it very easy to do all kinds of service, and who goes on with his service like that, of course that is very nice, and that pleases spiritual master. But one who has great difficulties to do service, and conquers those difficulties to continue that service, he becomes very dear to spiritual master. Very dear. We often hear, it is not what we give to Krishna that Krishna so much sees, but that which we hold back. That which we hold back. Let us say, you are Kolavecha Sridhar, and you are on the bank of the Ganges every day, taking plantain leaves, just some banana leaf, and folding it together with some twigs, and making cups. You may have seen these cups, they just take leaf and you fold it. Then you take one twig from tree and you pierce the cup on both sides and it makes a cup that you can drink out of. So this Kolavecha Sridhar was making cups like this. And he was making approximately 10 paisa or whatever it was a day. And of this 10 paisa a day he made, he gave 5 of it in the service of Mother Ganges. And he gave 2 of it to the Vaishnavas. And somehow or another he managed to live on 3 of it. Just making little leaf cups. You can just imagine his condition of life. He didn't care. He gave everything. He didn't care. And therefore, he's the most intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya. Of course, he was anyway the most intimate associate of Arjuna. But he was demonstrating how one gains the mercy of the Lord by giving everything to the Lord and not holding back. And therefore, Lord Chaitanya picked him out to give mercy to and have pastime with. Whereas someone may be very big rich man, it is not the quantity, it is the quality. Quality is what counts. And this is one manifestation of quality. How much you try to keep back from Krishna. And as long as you try to keep back, then you do not make advancement. As long as you remain attached, these people who are mentioned in this verse are of that quality. Proud of their personality, and proud of their position, proud of their abilities, they are keeping back from Krishna. They are not surrendering their personality, not surrendering their position to Krishna. They are proud of it, and thus they are keeping it from Krishna. They are trying to enjoy it for themselves, instead of enjoying it in relationship to Krishna, in the service. And therefore, they don't make so much advancement. It's slow advancement. It's advancement, but slow. Devotional service always brings you to the goal, but slowly, if you have these qualities of ignorance. Therefore, one should give up all attachment and all separatism from this material body and the material qualities and give it all to Krishna. Manasa deha geha yo kichumor. Apilantu apadi Nanda Kishore. Just give everything at the lotus feet of Nanda Kishore. The mind, the body, the whole material properties and surroundings. Don't hold it back. As much as you hold back, that much you have to suffer. We're thinking, I will hold back, and that much I will enjoy. But actually, you hold back, that much you will suffer by not having the ecstasy of love of God. So when we learn these points, it will be very valuable. Because then we will come out of the mode of ignorance by seeing what is the use. I get no gain by maintaining these material qualities. I gain nothing. So better, I work for the satisfaction of Krishna, and that will actually give me something. And then I should work in that way. Hare Krishna.